So this is my plans for this evening, just before dinner. So I've got these hardy seeds, and then I'm going to give it a go in terms of sowing seeds. But I'm a beginner gardener, and honestly, it always seems like a lot of trouble. Just really struggle. Um, I've watched. I really like the channel Middle Sized Garden, and she's got like a over 50-minute video on beginner gardening, and they talk a bit about seeds in there, sowing seeds in there with a professional grower. So she said use seed compost, sow one or two per cell, and then water them from the bottom and leave them to germinate basically. And as these are sort of hardy, I'm going to do it, leave them outside and see how they go. It might actually still be too warm because it's just the beginning of September, but you can see some of the things I've got. I've got a nice scabious, forget me not, which is apparently easy, catmint, pansy. It does say actually cover with something dark to let them germinate, so I'll give that a go. Californian poppy, nigella, and I'm not sure what this one is. This is, there you go, orange glory. So I'm going to give these a go and see how they get on and if they germinate over the next few weeks. Um, yeah, we'll try. Keep you posted. These are my seeds and how they're cracking on. It's been a bit hit and miss, to be honest. So, yeah, some of them okay, not a brilliant success rate. That one's done well. That is Godatia Glandiflora, Orange Glory. This one's terrible. That's Californian poppy. Yeah, and these are cracking on. These are the lupins that I've sowed in the biodegradable pots, so I don't have to disturb their roots. And then once they germinate and ready to pot on, I'll just stick them straight into a bigger pot. And these are seeds. I think they're forget me not and more lupins. But I've tried to put a dark tea towel over and keep them dark. See if that helps with some germination because I've got no forget me nots at all. But what I've got, I'm just going to quickly try and do it now. Is I've got these stock seeds and I'm going to try and use the smaller cells because I'm hoping to use less seed compost that way. And if I and see which ones germinate. And they should be able to get a set of true leaves before I then need to push them out and then put them on into one of like something bigger, maybe a little bit bigger than that actually. And then I'm not wasting as much compost on cells that just aren't growing. Um, that's the theory anyway. We'll see if that works out in practice. So there you go, they're done. So we'll see how they do. I just I'm letting them bottom water for the next sort of 15 minutes, and then I'll take them out and put the well, sorry, I won't take them out actually. I'll just take the water out, and then I will put the propagator lid over. So hopefully that'll be all right. But it made me laugh because I saw this in my kid's medical kit, and it's just like a little dental hook, pretend dental hook thing, and I was like, oh, that'll give me a little dib in the middle of these tiny little pots. So I seem to just be using all the kids' toys to help me garden. But yeah, I'll go and give this a wash now and then they'll be able to use it. And I need to go and find a label and we'll label these up. And then I'm going to see how they get on. And, that's 25 plants. So, and in these ones, it's two of these is 25 plants or 24 plants. So if it works out, then and I can get them to their true leaves, then it seems a way to save on the seed compost. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right, here we go, more seeds. I mean, on my germination rate, this isn't too much, but if I could actually germinate them, this would be a lot to do. But anyway, I've got these seeds that I've picked from Chiltern Seeds, so quite a lot of people tend to use them. Um, yeah, so got those. I've mixed mostly seed compost, but with a little of multi-purpose compost, just like a bit of extra fibre. And then I'm using these little ones because they're only little seeds, like snapdragons and stuff. So I'm hoping this is enough just to see if they germinate. So I'm going to be doing this afternoon, and we'll give it a go. There's a few mistakes I'm making. I didn't realise you had to use tap water because I always thought that rainwater was better for plants, but I think it's better for plants, but not seedlings. So we'll use tap water to water these from underneath once they're all sown. And I've got a little helper. Helper number 1. Helper number 2, although I don't think he's helping. I think he's just pottering around, being a bit annoying. So yeah, we're going to crack on. So I am out and about again. I've got 4 seed packets left to sow this morning. And yeah, I'm going to get that out of the way. Then we've got a full day walking. We're going on a family walk with the neighbour's dog. They're always grateful to get her out for a bit of a walk, and seems to get the kids out. And then some birthday party stuff, house tidying, laundry, etc. So I just wanted to explain what I'm doing with my seeds. On a different video, which was the September autumn pots video, I sowed these larkspur, and what I said there was, because it was sort of my job for the day, picked at Dawn, who she sells plug plants. Obviously she's really good at germinating seeds. She uses a multi-purpose compost for her seeds, and I'm not happy with like the seed compost I've been using and the germination rates. So some have been okay and some of them have just been really poor. I mean, maybe it's the seeds and stuff, but it looks a lot different to the compost that she's using. So yesterday on that video, I mixed basically a perlite, and then a bit of Miracle Grow compost, and then another compost that I know from when I bought it in spring has quite a lot of like straw stuff in it, and that was a lot more like what she was using to sow. And then where seeds like darkness, she covers them in wet cardboard. So that's what I've done with the larkspur, because they do like to germinate in darkness. So it's one of the ones she had covered in wet cardboard. So I'll leave that over. I'll fix that in a minute. So yeah, I'm just not happy with the seed compost. So for the 4 that I've got to do today, I'm going to make my I'm going to make my own. So you can see like here where I've used the seed compost. I mean, the best one is like I'll do a sort of review at the end. So I'm getting nudged by the cat. Hello, cat. Morning. But like this one, obviously 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 plants out of that thing of 12, which isn't great, to be honest. It just seems like a lot of waste to compost. So I'm going to try using a different compost mix, and I will pot up the seeds today with that one, and hopefully I'll get better germination rates than just using a straight seed. But who knows? We'll see. It's an experiment. So I've mixed that now. You can see it there. So if I just, it looks like that. So it's this Thompson's Professional Multi-Purpose, which I find has got quite a lot of the fibres in. And then it's Miracle Grow compost, which is sort of more, actually it's still got quite a lot of fibres in, but it's more soily. And then some perlite. So yeah, so I've mixed it all up. I'm going to fill these seed trays and get cracking. All right, there we go. So they're ready to go. I'm going to sow these ones, which have been soaking overnight, because it said that's what to do. So I can't remember what these are, but it says 14 to 30 days. All the other ones, it's just like they might not grow the first year. So it says I think they might come up in spring if they're going to come up. So I'm going to sow these ones in bigger trays and leave them a bit longer. And I've put the stick in and just made a note that they're just slow, so don't just give up on them and throw them in the bin before they're ready. But where someone has said something is a good plant, I feel like because I'm following a lot of like cut flower growers for hints and tips, all the plants that I'm growing are quite tall. So when they've mentioned something, I'm looking for like the dwarf varieties. So this is Blue Hobbit. So then it's 23 to 30 centimetres, which should look better in a border than something that's going to go 60 centimetres. Otherwise, everything's just going to be too tall and there's no ground cover in the plants that I'm trying to grow. So I'll crack on with these. For these smaller ones, I'm using a pinhead and it sort of acts like a bit of glue. And I can just wipe it on the surface. So I did have a toothpick yesterday. I don't know where it's gone. So I'm back to cat again. I'm just using this pinhead, which works sort of just as good if it's a little bit wet, because I can't pick them up off the tissue because they've been soaking overnight. So yeah, so handy, just a little tip there. There we go. They're done. So I'll put these in the cold frames and see how they get on. Supervisor. Just as an update on the seeds, this little method seemed to work quite well on the snapdragons, although I've got a feeling they're easier to germinate anyway. But I feel like I've done a little bit better using compost instead of seed compost in terms of germination. So I've got 4 more seeds I'm sowing today, 3 stocks and some more Orange Glory, Godita, I don't know, Grandiflor, Orange Glory. So I'm sowing them today, and I'm just going to use the same method of using the small cells because they're all quite small seeds, and using multi-purpose compost because I mean they're the ones that I'm looking after because they're doing quite well out of the seed compost, and they're going to need potting on soon. But the rest just didn't do that well. It was just a bit inconsistent. So I'm going to stick with a multi-purpose compost for seed sowing and for my seeds today, and then we'll see how we get on with the 4 new seeds. My seed experiments are ongoing, so I don't actually think that the change in compost, etc., has helped at all. It just seems to be really independent on the seed, whether it germinates or not. I've actually found it easier where they want light and a surface sowed, all those seem to be fine, but if they need to be covered with anything, it just seems to go a bit awry. But I've cracked on anyway. I'm just going to sow what I sow. Whatever comes up, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, it is weird because all the lupins that I put in the little pots have come up. They've all come up fine. You can see without my shadow. Nope. But none of them in the seed trays did. And I don't know why. It was the same set of seeds, etc., etc. So it's all a bit odd, a bit of a mystery to me. But I guess that's the nature of seed sowing. And then, we'll take it from there. The only thing is, for ones that I've mainly based it on the lady picked at dawn, who seems to have the magic touch in getting things to grow. And I bought some plug plants off of her, which I've potted up and probably need a bit of a water and things. So it's my larkspur that don't seem to be doing anything, and a couple of other things just aren't getting anywhere. I can always fall back to her then because she's got a magic touch and she has a load of plug plants, and they're not expensive. They're about £1 a plant or a little bit more, plus the shipping. So when you've got value like that and someone who's working that hard, I don't mind spending a bit of money with them to supplement my poor plant growing skills. But so that's the update on the seed sowing. I've got a couple more to do in October, and then that's it. I'm done. This is enough. Got my hands full putting on all of these. Right, so I wanted to do a seed roundup, so I have lined them all up to go through. Okay, so these are the ones I think I did on the first video, and the mistake that I think I made was I used rainwater on them. So I don't think that was the right thing to do. This is Gypsophilia. So we've got a few here that have come out. Will I be putting these on today? I'll check the roots on them. Probably not these ones. They've got leggy though, because it's just too warm where I am. Like, I don't really have anywhere. There's the conservatory or there's a south facing decking with the cold frames on, and actually it's just been too warm. So I feel like they've all got a bit leggy. This is Candela Yellow. I'm going to check these today for roots coming out the bottom and put them on. This was cat mint, so that was a bit of a disaster. But again, I feel like this might be, I can't remember what it's called, but I feel like it might be from using the rain barrel water, unfortunately. Forget Me Not was a total waste of time. one. I think there was two. One of them's gone. And then I've got this one, Centaura gyrus. I can't even remember what these plants are. This wasn't too bad. At some point, and it will be in the video, these were all seed compost, and at some point I think I started mixing it up a little bit. So I think this will be, yeah, from the week where I started mixing things up a little bit. I think this might be multi-purpose compost or a mix. So they've come on quite well. That might be the other factor, which is the compost. This is Californian poppy. I've got one plant which is very leggy and unstable. So again, what was the point? This one's done all right. This was Godatia glandiflora orange glory. So that one's been okay, and that's got quite good roots actually. You can see them. No, but I will cell pot those on. And this one's done all right, Nigella, but I'm a bit nervous now because they don't like their roots disturbed. So I'm going to put these on into the biodegradable pots, so then I don't have to disturb them after that. And I can just put the biodegradable pots in the 1 litre pots, I think is my plan. And then, what's this one? I think this is scabious, which again is just looking a bit leggy, horrible. Right, he's just either he just scratched my foot when I walked past him, so that's not very friendly. So I don't know what he's up to now. He's probably going to jump all over these in a second. You're in my bad books. I have to wee in on my tulips. Now I can't remember what these are, but I'm because the label's gone. But I'm pretty sure that these are all of the snapdragons have done okay, except for the leggy issue, which is just because they've been in the conservatory or in and out of the conservatory. They've just got a bit leggy. And my conservatory is east facing, so yeah, so obviously they get a big lean. But I'm pretty sure these will be snapdragons. No Marlow, no. This is green gold, so that's done all right. Looks a bit dry, so I'm going to water them in a second. This is Antirrhinum Madam Butterfly, so they've done all right. Obviously they haven't got their tree leaves yet, so I will water them and leave them. And then it will be on the video, but I don't feel like I use seed compost in all of these. I think I've probably used multi-purpose compost or a mix, so maybe that's also why they've done better. But the surface sown ones just seem to have done better. This is Antirrhinum as well, that's Orange Glory. I think that's what it says. This one's lost its label, but it will be a snapdragon as well. Pretty sure. This one is more Antirrhinum Madam Butterfly, so that's going to be nice. Got a few of those. And I do like the smaller cells. I just think it's less compost wasted on seeds that don't do well. Lilac Lavender, that's a stock, so that's done all right. This is Anytime Yellow stock, which could still be coming out, to be honest. Looks like there's still some coming out. So that's done all right. What's this one? Amaria Macetima Splendens. I'll try and put this all in the description. But yeah, they've done okay, but I just need them to get their tree leaves so I can pop them on. For the ones that are in the little ones, I will be potting them on either to this. He's doing it again. I'm going to get him out of that tulip. He's digging up my tulips. No. Yeah, I'm going to have to find the netting for those. I'm going to put them on to these ones, which are the normal ones you get in the propagator, in multi-purpose compost. Or I also got these. So they're not, and then once they've grown in them and I can see the roots in the bottom, I'll move them onto a 9cm pot. And then for the ones that started in these big ones, they're going to go straight into a 9cm pot to overwinter. So one of these. And then my bigger flowers are going to go in a 1 litre pot. So where did we get up to? There's these ones, which haven't done that well. The label's at the bottom. Hold on a second. I'll just see if I can dig it out. This still might be coming up, I think. That is Veronica officinalis common speedwell. So I don't even know what I've planted anymore, but There we go, bits and bobs. I have had to get some tweezers and thin these out quite a bit because, yeah, this is a stock. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is champagne, but again, just getting like, they get a bit leggy and they sort of outgrow the little cell and like the root pops out. So I obviously, it's not brilliant. I think it's because they're leaning, and obviously you can see the lean already. Like this one is ridiculous for it. This one's got, you know, it's really bad. Lunaria, Lycilia peach. So the germination's okay, but the plants are just all over the place. It's back again. If he goes in those tulips again, I'm going to get a water gun, one water spray. These will be a snapdragon. These ones are done well. That was, oh, let me check. Achillea millefolium cerise queen, and they. So no, it's not. Some roots are coming out the bottom, but not quite. So I'll leave them another week. What's this one? Probably should have thought about this labelling system before I sowed so many seeds. This one is Carcia pulchella. There we go. Can't say it, so there we go. How's it going? Pretty good. Oh, I do have roots coming out the bottom here, so another one on my list for today. And then my idea is, because they're a bit leggy, it's just when I put them on, it's to like firm them in. It's probably the worst thing you can do. And then what's this one? Another Antirrhinum Madam Butterfly. I can't believe there's so many Madam Butterflies. I feel like there's just labels been got wrong there. Oh, and that's lovely. I've just found one. My stock's turned over, so I'll have to see if we can sort these out. They don't look very good now. Okay, is that the cat that's done that? Just sitting over there, looking relaxed, wrecking all the plants. And then I've got these lupins. So they've been doing quite well, apart from the old legginess issue. So what I'm going to do with these, because they're so soggy and they're in these, again, they don't like their roots disturbed, I might just peel this away, and then you can see the roots coming out the bottom. So I'm going to peel it away as gently as possible, I think, and put them in the 1 litre pots. And then I haven't got them here, but I've got my foxgloss to go in 1 litre pots. So anything with the roots peeping out the bottom, I'll get, as long as I've got time, I'm going to mix a big bucket of compost and just as quickly as possible get them potted on and labelled up. But that's my sort of seed roundup. The lupins, by the way, all these ones germinated, practically all of the ones in the pots. I have one of these inside with lupins in, same compost, nothing germinated. So I don't really understand how the nature of the pot can change the germination rate, but it did. I put a tea towel over them for a bit of darkness, and I don't really know what's helped or hasn't helped. Anyway, right, I'm going to get the label maker going and get going on these and put them up, which will be in my video for today, but that's just a roundup on the seeds. It's hit and miss. The lady that I follow, though, for all the germination tips, Picked at Dawn, she's got such a wide range and they're such good value for money that any that I am missing that I really want, I will get them from her, and or the garden centre for ones that she doesn't do, because she does cut flowers. And then yeah, that's it really. But to be honest, I've got so many. I'm just going to have like a border full of snapdragons by the end of the year, as long as these survive the winter. But what can you do? That's just what's come up. So there we go. Right, better crack on. Just a final point on my seeds. If they weren't in the video, but I have sown them, they're not doing anything because I've shown everything that's growing. So the dwarf larkspur, the lupins in the pot. There's a few others that might grow but haven't. If they're not on the video, they didn't do anything. And that's the end of that. So yeah. So I've been thinking since my seed video, like what would I say my lessons are from trying to get these autumn seeds sown and germinating, but it's hard to know really, to be honest. I think that if the seeds are small enough, I would use the little black cell trays that I was using, which were 2.5 centimetres by 2 centimetres. And I think the bottom sort of bottom half I put multi-purpose compost and the top half seed compost. And then just follow the instructions basically as far as you can in terms of the depth and stuff. The ones that did better for me were surface sown ones. So yeah, I don't know why, just ones that had to be under the soil. I think maybe because I didn't have vermiculite, so anything that maybe didn't need to be surface sown, or even then actually sometimes, I would put some vermiculite on it and instead of soil on the top, and maybe that would have worked better to get those ones going. So yeah, so the little black cells, multi-purpose, seed compost, vermiculite, and then put them in a propagator. And I think what's sort of hampered me here is that we're a bit too warm, and they've got a bit leggy, but literally like the decking when it's a sunny day is over 20 degrees as well. So there's nowhere really for me to put them that's quite cool, that gets a bit of light. So I'm a bit stuck there. But anyway, we tried our best. And then the ones that need I don't know what my lesson is here, apart from the only lupins that germinated were the ones in the biodegradable pots that had latite over them, and the other one in the propagator just didn't do anything. So for lupins, that's what I do. And I think I soaked them beforehand. But yeah, I think it depends on the seeds, and I think you can get some seeds that are like good for beginners and that are pretty good germinators. And as I build up my border, I'm hoping to get perennials in there because I think they're nice flowers and the lowest maintenance is what you need for a border. But to like fill the gaps with annuals until and also annuals are very pretty. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting these snapdragons overwintered. The Madam Butterfly is really pretty, and then that will just build out the border, which will be good. But yeah, it's been a lot of time and a lot of effort for sort of leggy, unreliable seedlings that may or may not survive over winter in my cold frames rather than a greenhouse. So we'll see if it was all worth it in spring and summer.